stars, and that's who we are. We are voices. There's nothing to fear. Explode in your rear. Feel our voices.
Citizens of Gotham, welcome back. This is Ed.
And this is Carl. Unfortunately, Mike got called away for work, so it's just going to be the two of us for segment 4. But hey, you got 3 segments out, and that's not bad.
Yeah. 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Yeah.
Carl,
Ed?
did you ever notice that you never see Mike and Batman in the same room at once?
It might be on to something there.
Yeah, he might actually be the boy wonder, man wonder.
The Man Wonder. That'd be funny if it was the Boy Wonder and Man Wonder. That's what I'm going to start calling him now. That's great. The Man Wonder.
Man wonder. Or your really smart friend. What's up, Man Wonder? Put your hair on fire making a pizza. Huh.
They were poking fun at me the other day in my chemistry lab because I about burnt my eyebrows off. So with a Bunsen burner. And the thing is, though, honestly, they overreacted. I wasn't even close. But they're like, you about burnt your eyebrows off. I was like, wouldn't be the first time.
Okay. Yeah, be careful with that. Maybe wear a face shield?
I had goggles on, so at least had that going.
Yeah.
It wasn't even anywhere close. They were just being nervous Nellies. So.
Okay, good. Well, yeah, as promised, it is Friday. Happy Friday to you, and it is time for your Republicomms. Yeah. Cool, and it looks like we've got three Republicomms this week.
3, it's the magic number. Yes, it is. It's the magic number. A man and a woman had a little baby. There was 3 in the family. It's the magic number. Sorry. I always go to the Blind Melons version from Schoolhouse Rocks.
Ah, there we go. That makes sense to me. Cool. So, yeah, again, we don't know who this is, but it's more exciting that way.
Yes.
And take it away.
Hey guys, I'm a few weeks behind, so I just got around to listening to the Backyard Shenanigans episode.
Veronica.
And when I was growing up, we lived out in the country, so there weren't a lot of kids around. And the only ones that were sort of 3 boys who were a few years older than me. So I had the normal toys, Jen, Shira. What I really wanted was a Voltron, but I never got one because those were boy toys. I'm not bitter or anything. Anyways, when we got a few years older, we would hang out in our neighbor's camper, and for some reason, we would grab the sides of each other's throats till we passed out. Nowadays, I'm not sure why that was so entertaining, waiting for your friends to sort of wake up, but hey, it is what it is. Anyways, love you guys. Bye.
Aww. She played the pass-out game.
Hearing that creepy story.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Wow.
And here's the thing is I always wanted Voltron growing up, and I didn't get it either because it was a boy's toy. No, seriously, I didn't get it because it was too expensive. Because that Voltron, I got a little one, and the pieces came apart, but they didn't transform into the lions, so they were just plastic pieces. And But I still play with it because I was that kid. But I wanted that big old Voltron with the lion figures and.
Yeah. And I eventually want to do a Voltron show, but yeah, same pain here, man. I loved Voltron, and to everybody wanted that Voltron 5-piece Matchbox. What was it? like $100 altogether.
Oh yeah, like, and that was 80s $100 too, not today $100.
Right, right. Like, you know, you get a decent job, you can drop 100 and get some cool stuff like the big Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
But man, this thing was untouchable, especially for my family at the time. It just was not the good time. So, yeah, like you, I got a compensation gift, and it was Voltron, and it was like 8 inches tall. It did not come apart. It just, you know, the arms moved and the legs moved and the head turned, and that was all you got. And that is the only time I ever peeked at my Christmas gift, and all that was inside that packaging was heartache.
Yeah. Like, and the worst part is as a kid, you don't understand it either. You're just like, why didn't I get what I wanted? Why did I get this other thing? Like, Santa Claus hates me. Oh,
Yeah, really.
it's not fair.
I'd rather not have any of it or have all of it. Like all of Voltron or no Voltron at all.
Yeah, and you know, and that's a hard thing for a kid to realize. But speaking of Voltron, if you guys get a chance, I started watching the original Japanese version of it. Go Lion! Go Lion! Which works because it's kind of like Speed Racer. Because for you guys who don't know out there, Go is 5 in Japanese. So it's Go Lion, 5 lions. And that's like the Go Speed Racer Go. He was the Mach 5. Go Speed Racer Go 5. Yeah, so it's like a play on words. It's because Japanese are huge into wordplay when it comes to humor and honestly just everyday living. They love wordplay for some reason. Like they're super big into puns. But I don't know.
Yeah, and it makes living there difficult.
Yeah, because I really got into some of their shows and like their comedy shows, and like it's so subtle, like, and you only get it if you're Japanese and you've been speaking the language for years, because it's seriously like the difference between like saying like there and there, and you're just like, I don't understand. We're like, well, one of them's T-H-E-I-R and one of them's T-H-E-R-E. You know, it's pretty much the equivalent of that, only in Japanese. It's so strange, but it's great. So.
Totally. Well, cool. Thanks for calling in, Veronica.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. And let's move on to the next call from... And we're glad you're back, by the way. Thanks for listening, catching up. All right. Hey, Jim, take it away.
Hey, guys, it's Jim. Hopefully my face doesn't hang up on you guys. I'm guessing that's what happened last time. Yeah, Batman. So there's no denying, obviously, and I'm sure you guys talked about how, like, such a cultural phenomenon it was. I mean, I think a lot of that has to do with, I think it was by design. I mean, you think about all of the different tie-ins that they had. I mean, you couldn't buy a product, like, especially like in the supermarket. Like, Batman was on fucking everything. And for me, I mean, I just turned 5. Like, I think this is one of the first movies that I really became, like, aware of, like, holy shit, this movie's coming out. I want to see this. And then, you know, my parents and I, we didn't really go to the movies that often, but, you know, luckily they pushed the release of it, you know, on VHS super early. And then actually, I remember it pissed a lot of, you know, local theater owners off because they wanted to make sure that it came out by that Christmas. And it was a huge deal. And I'm pretty sure I saw it. It was probably one of the movies I saw the closest to its actual release date. And I just, you know, it blew my little kid mind. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was nothing. There was definitely not any other superhero movie like that. And I think it was a big shock for a lot of non-comic book readers too, that, you know, their only frame of reference was probably the Adam West live action or like Super Friends or some other, you know, super toned down, watered down version that, you know, at the time comic book readers, they knew. I mean, I think Frank Miller's, you know, Dark Knight had just kind of splashed down and really like resonated with everyone, and you know, we had the dark and gritty Batman that everyone expected who read the comics, and then we had everyone expecting, you know, like a schlock fest with the Bam and Biff and coming up on the screen, and they didn't get that, and I think it was a huge shock. But obviously, I don't think the movie has aged very well. I'm not a huge Tim Burton fan. I think right now his shtick has gotten a little stale. I mean, back then it was pretty fresh. I think Tim Burton would do way better just being a production designer and not a director. I don't think he cares enough about actors or story, really, to be a director. He should. If he was just production designer, maybe I think I'd be more inclined, because then you'd have someone like Jack Nicholson's Joker is the definitive version. I'm more of I back Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's Joker is the horse that I will back 100%. But I mean, I remember when Batman Returns came out, I had to be Batman for Halloween. It was a huge deal. I have a picture of me as Batman next to my Michael Dara boards.
I guess that's it.
I think the voicemail cut him off. So, thank you very much. And it's really funny that he mentioned that, because we did talk about it a bit, but it was totally planned, because, as Mike pointed out, he had the T-shirt, the Batman T-shirt, going into the movie. Like, this stuff was coming out even before. You had Taco Bell commercials running. You had, this, that, and the other. You had all this big push. There was TV shows on promoting it. Like, they did like a behind-the-scenes stuff, like on all these different television things. It was a big deal, and it was definitely manufactured by Warner Brothers, and it was really well executed. And I think he was really onto something there, because what you're talking about at this point is the other really big superhero movie was Superman. And Christopher Reeve's Superman was amazing for the time, but if you compare it, like, you have the campy Lex Luthor and like the bumbling sidekicks, and there's a lot of silly campiness still almost left over from the Adam West Batman sort of stuff. It's not that pronounced, but there's still a little bit of that silliness going in. And I think Tim Burton's Batman was like the first time that like someone stood up and said, like, no, this could be really serious. I mean, like, because you had The Killing Joke, Dark Knight Returns, all those came out just a couple years before this movie, and then you had this movie come out where you have a Joker that's killing people and dark shit going on. I really like it, and honestly, me personally, I think it holds up. It's still kind of a period piece, but it's kind of an ageless. Like, when you watch it, I don't think there's really that one thing to like, oh, this is super 80s. It's
Yeah.
I think I think it holds up well. I'll disagree with him on that, but.
Yeah, I think the only thing, I mean, there's obviously going to be advances in technology, especially costumes. I mean, by the second movie, the costume got better. By the third movie, when Val Kilmer took over the role, I mean, the first Bat costume, as awesome as it was when it first showed up, if you look at it closely, it looks like it's kind of fudged together, like it was made in a garage, which never bothered anybody when it was first out. But when you see Val Kilmer's, it is slick and smooth, and it looks like GM designed it and crafted it. It's amazing. And yeah, the effects are totally going to be dated, but in terms of like story and content, it's all there. There's holes. There's definitely holes. But at this point, like, what superhero movie doesn't have holes? And I'm not just talking about like, if you read the comics, you'll understand that this could not. No. It's just simple, like, common sense movie holes. But
yeah,
the point is lost. Sorry, had it.
But yeah, I think visually though, like the movie has a very fresh feeling to it. It's almost along the lines of what they did with the animated series, because you don't see like, here's this year's Mercury. You don't see a lot of things that really date it, because when you watch the animated series, there's a lot of like old classical looking cars, like people wearing suits and everything. There's not really a whole lot of like that other side. Like, it's kind of like that in the 1989 movie, because everyone's wearing suits. You see a lot of older cars, driving around and stuff like that, because it's usually like rich people. But it's really strange. Like, I was watching it like just the other day, and I was just like, this holds up visually. There's not really anything that super screams, "This is the 80s, motherfucker! Neon day glow everything!"
Yeah. No, totally. There's the cityscape of Gotham is completely manufactured. It's all sets and backlots. A couple of maybe in New York possible scenes, but even that could be on a backlot. So everything is very stylized. Everything's very industrial and grim and dirty. everything's like under train tracks or brick buildings. So that helps the control. But yeah, it's that forced retro. It's I believe they were trying to. They really wanted to do right by Bob Kane for this one. Holy shit. Kane was everywhere when this came out. But they're also trying to, definitely pay homage to that origin of Batman from 39 and into the 40s. So like you're saying, the 40s style, it did rear its head again in the 80s, but it was all over the place, top to bottom. Vicky Vale's home, it looks like a museum of Art Deco. Telephone cord looks like it was fraying because it's definitely an antique, Yeah. And obviously there are no computers, no smartphones, really. I mean, I think they use a couple computers, but...
Yeah, but and they're really careful to avoid stuff that dates the movie. Even when you do see cars and things of that nature, there's not a whole lot of pop music, with the exception of Prince. He shows up like in the music, but other than that, there's not really that much pop music. It's mostly Danny Elfman's score. There's just a whole lot of nothing to date the movie in it, and I think it works well. And like you said, it's really a throwback to the old comics, because when I was watching, I was like, man, this just... I love Christopher Nolan's, and I prefer Christopher Nolan's universe, but I think if you're going like purely like transferred from the comic book to a movie, Tim Burton did a really good job of capturing that visual feeling of Batman and putting it into a movie. So
agreed. So cool, awesome call.
Yeah, and, thanks, Jim.
Holy dude, call more. All right, last call, and we believe it's from our brother to the north, Jamie Baca.
Nice.
Hey, Ed and Mike and Carl, it's Jamie from Ottawa, Ontario. I'm here on the beach at Westboro Beach. Say hello. Hi. Say hi.
Hello, ladies.
Everyone's drunk and big. Anyways, Batman. Michael Keaton. What do you think of Michael Keaton, Batman?
Awesome.
Yeah. You just can't beat that love. You just can't beat it with a stick.
No. I mean, you could, but
that's
a hate crime because he's Canadian.
Totally.
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie.
Taking some time out of his busy day off to give us a call from the beach.
Yeah, man, that's great. And it's that easy, kids. Just call the Republicom. You don't have to be fancy with it. You don't have to send us crazy voice messages or whatever like that. Just give us a holler.
Yeah, let us know what you think about the show, the topics, everything. Find a cool toy, let us know.
Absolutely. Have a cool toy, let us know. We love it.
Record a video, send it to us.
Yeah.
Link to it, like put it on YouTube and send us a link. It might make it on the show. Who knows?
Totally. Yeah, we have really low standards. You got a really good chance.
Yeah.
Last bit of business. We'll put it up all over the place, especially on Facebook and VORradio.com. Note to self: put it on VORradio.com. We're going to be not just off next week for the holiday, but we are going to be taking a summer hiatus, so we too can go to the beach with people who aren't Jamie Baca, but we do what we can.
Yeah, I wish I could go to the beach with Jamie Baca, but I can't.
Yeah. When I say go to the beach, it means work really hard on other stuff that's not as fun.
That's basically what it is that I think just all of us are just too busy, too worn out, and because I have school going on and we're coming up on finals in the next couple weeks, so I'm going to go ahead and take this time to collect myself, get caught up on schoolwork, because I think you guys noticed, like especially this past week, that me and Ed both, we both dropped the ball a couple days, and late shows here and there. We have a lot going on right now, so we figure in about a month that'll give us some time to enjoy the summer a little bit and then get back into it, schedule some new guests, get some topics lined up, then we'll come back better than ever. So
That's right. That's right. Because you deserve it, and we thank you for sticking with us. And hopefully, yeah, you'll all be back. Looking at August 3rd. Right.
1 second. Because that doesn't sound right. August 3rd is when we'll be recording. So the new episode will be up on August 5th, Tuesday. But we'll go ahead and give you guys the topic for that show. So definitely have your voicemails in and everything by August 3rd. So.
Yeah, and feel free to drop a voicemail on any past show. Again, we love to hear about stuff like that. But yeah, in the meantime, we'll always be around on the Facebook and in your hearts.
Yeah. But speak for yourself on the Facebook thing. Like, I just got around to Joshika. He sent me a message a few days ago, and I just got around to answering it today. I'm so sorry about that. Anyone that's sent me any messages or emails or anything, I've been really slow to respond because I'm seriously working anywhere from 6 to 12 hours a day on schoolwork. So.
Yeah, I owe Josh a reply too, so I apologize for that being dickish. It was, I don't remember the question. It was right in the middle of my deadline, so I'm like, that's complicated. I'll get back to that. I don't know when that was. I'll look. So I'm sorry, Josh.
Yeah. It's not intentional. We're just super busy. We're sorry. We're barely having time to get this show out. So. Totally.
So, but yeah, speaking of, that's a show.
Yay!
So, cool. So until looks like until August, you guys, and hope you have a really good summer, and you can again feel free to tell us about it. VORradio.com, links to everything, and hopefully we'll see you back here soon.
Yeah. So until then, may the force
be with
us.